biggest games, the greatest players, and the largest payouts on the planet. The WPT is a series of international high-stakes poker tournaments that can turn amateur players into millionaires and make professionals into superstars. With millions of dollars on the line, it's time for these 4 players to live the dream of fame, fortune, and the one thing money can't buy, a WPT title. Tonight on the World Poker Tour.
Tonight, from the heart of the Las Vegas Strip, we're at Bellagio for the conclusion of WPT World Championship 7. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Sexton, along with Vince Van Patten, and welcome to the WPT.
Well, this is it, folks. The final table of the Season 7 WPT World Championship. Now, a lot has happened so far, but in case you missed some of the action, here are some highlights to get you caught up to speed. Yevgeny Timoshenko.
When he came to the final table as the big chip leader. All he's done is add chips to his stack.
All in.
And he's going to make this call. He's going to hate it.
I don't like that.
The short stack, picking up chips, punishing Scotty Wynn.
All right, boy. I'm on, baby.
He moves all in with ace-4 diamonds.
And that is going to do it.
All right, baby.
He is out of here in 6th place.
All in.
Who is this guy?
He's sending a message to the youngsters. I may be an amateur and I may be a businessman, but gentlemen, I'm still here and I'm going to fight for this title. Elke Gross-Perrier staying aggressive, going for his 2nd WPT title.
Now Shannon Shore with a 6-7 of clubs.
All in.
Whoa.
I call.
So it's back to class for Shannon Shore. He is a phenomenal young poker player. The only question is, who's going to take home that over $2.1 million?
And now we are down to these 4 players.
In seat 6 is a fearless amateur businessman out of Tel Aviv, Israel, Ron Azor.
He looks like one of those Bond villains out of Central Casting, but he is fun to watch play. Now, to his right is 21-year-old pro Christian Harder.
Well, so far, Christian's been very selective in the hands he's played at this final table, but I look for him to loosen up now that we're just 4-handed.
Okay, and under that mat of natural blonde hair is the Season 7 WPT Player of the Year, Elke Gross-Perrier.
And our chip leader is a 21-year-old. He's from the state of Washington, Yevgeny Timoshenko. And if he goes on to win this event, he'll become the 2nd youngest WPT champion ever. Let's check the chip count and get back to the game. Well, we started out 7 days ago with 338 players. We are down to our final 4. One of these guys going home with a coveted WPT World Championship title and over $2.1 million.
As you can see, the massive chip leader is the 21-year-old Yevgeny Timoshenko with $22 million in chips. And now tonight he has a chance of becoming a WPT Poker-made millionaire. Let's go to the table. It's on the man from Tel Aviv, Ron Azor. He's going to muck a 6-5, a suited connector.
Now you're looking at Elke Gross-Perrier, the hottest touring player in the world right now. By making it to 4th at this final table, he's become the WPT Season 7 Player of the Year.
And he's got King Jack, made $375,000 to go.
City started with 3.4.
3.65.
Yevgeny with a pair of 7s behind him says, how much you got there behind you?
Shorter than you have?
4.1 including
Well, he's got so many chips, man, so he can just do about what he wants to.
I'm all in.
Oh, look at this. He's going all in with the mid pair.
I'm all in.
And a quick muck by Christian Harder.
And Elke goes out as well, so the rich get richer. Yevgeny came to this final table with a monster chip lead, and all he has done is build on it since he has gotten here. It's been a one-man show by this 21-year-old. It's just incredible to me that if he wins this tournament, Vince, he just turned 21 and would have over $3 million in career earnings in the poker world. That's astounding.
The Frenchman quickly folding, and now Yevgeny with just a 9 deuce of hearts.
I mean, he just looks so young, like a 9th grade prep school kid or something. Don't let those looks fool you, folks. The greatest poker player of all time in no-limit hold'em tournaments, Stu Unger, looked just as young when he was that age.
Yevgeny has made it 325.
I'm all in.
But look at this. After Christian folds, Ron with King Queen says all in. And he's going to pick up this pot.
So Ron, the lone amateur at the table, the businessman from Israel.
You want to see my cards?
He shows him a king, queen of clubs as he takes down the pot.
Now, Ron is the real wild card in this bunch. We saw before he's an amateur player, but he's elusive than a goose. I mean, he does play wild poker. These guys don't know how he plays yet. They didn't expect it, and he has taken a lot of pots from these professionals.
Yeah.
Said, these guys don't know me. He said, I'm going to cause them fits. And indeed he has so far.
All right, the chip leader goes away, and now the online professional, also 21 years old. Christian Harder from Annapolis, Maryland. He's thinking about this. He's got the button. He's got Queen 7. But no, that was a fake out. He has folded.
So the battle of the blinds here between the amateur and the WPT Player of the Year.
How much?
3.1. That's free after this one.
Mr. Tel Aviv with just Jack 9. Gonna make it 555,000 to go. But Elke with a pretty solid ace 10 behind him.
I'm all in.
And he says all in.
He's going all in over the top.
In your face.
2.7.
It's going to be another $2.7 million
Beside the 550?
for Ron Azor to make this call, and that seems like an awful lot of money to call with just a Jack 9 offsuit.
Yeah, not what Ron wanted to hear. And you look at Ron, he's got an interesting look, sort of like that, like a prison guard in Guantanamo Bay look. But he's going to fold his hand.
So Elke Grospierre picks up that pot.
And anyone that wins tonight will be sharing the joy and the championship title with these great champions of the past.
Well, it is an illustrious lineup of winners.
He's skipping. Look at this. Allen has won his championship.
Martin DeKnapp is our champion. It's a 7.
It's over.
Quad Lee has done it. He has captured his second World Poker Tour title. It is over. Joe Foley has done it. It's a 3. Carlos Mortensen has done it. What an epic battle it was. He has come back and won this tournament. Let's hear it for the WPT World Champion.
And one of these guys tonight is going to become our champion. We're coming back with more on the World Poker Tour.
I'm a different person than all the players because I'm more natural, but sometimes it's difficult for them to read me because I don't play only by the book. I don't believe. We will see in the end if I can make a good result, or you must be all the time just professional to get a good result.
We are back at Bellagio for the World Poker Tour. The WPT World Championship continues. Andes are going up to 20,000 blinds, 100 and 200,000. And that is Ron Azor, who is doing quite well here tonight.
Now, Vince, he has always proven one thing, that you don't have to be a professional to get a result out here in the World Poker Tour. He's going to have a great result wherever he finishes tonight. So he's proven that amateurs can win out here as well as pros.
To the table we go. Elke from Paris, France, with a 9-8 has made it 460,000 to go.
And he's got the suited connectors.
I'm all in.
And Ron moving all in over the top with just an ace-6 here. A bold play. And Vince, I got to tell you, the style he's chosen to play against these youngsters, I believe, is correct for him if he has any chance to win here tonight. And I'm talking about play big ball poker. When you play a pot, just move all in, force them to pick up a big hand. Don't let them outplay you after the flop. Chop away at you. Force them to play big pots.
Well, it's gutsy poker, too, I might add. Very well done so far. All right, after a fold by Christian Harder, Ron Azor now with a quality hand. Pair of jacks.
All in.
Says all in.
Well, he's just in one mode right now, and that's the all-in mode.
Elke out. Evgeny can't play, so 2 in a row there.
Nice hand.
Well, when you move all in, you take away the opportunity for your opponents to bluff also, though. I'm not sure an all-in bet with that good a hand is a wise move in a four-handed game. I'd prefer him see him raise it to 500,000 and hope somebody came over the top where you could win a monster pot, perhaps.
Well, I think you're right. Back to this one. Elke quick fold. And Evgeny going out.
So it's the battle of the blinds. Oh, and Christian Harder finally has picked up a hand at this final table. He's got 2 queens in the small blind.
And he likes it. He's going to pump it up to 525 to go.
Well, Ron, seemingly loving to play every pot right now, has a queen 10 and is going to see a flop here, but he is in dire straits as his opponent has 2 queens.
Is he getting too overconfident? He's splashing around. Needs to get lucky here.
There comes the flop. It's ace 10 9. So Ron has flopped second pair of 2 10s.
And Christian going to check it. Hates to see that ace on the board.
Well, you're right, Vince. He's got the 2 queens, but when the ace comes out there, he's leery of it. His opponent checks, so Christian probably now thinks his queens are the best hand. 7 comes off. So let's see what the 21-year-old from Maryland's going to do. He's going to fire out now. Looks like 675,000. Well, Ron trying to figure out if his 2-10s are the best hand here. His opponent did check on the flop.
How much total you have, including this?
He's asking how much do you have, including this.
2.3.
He's interested in this.
975 total, including that.
2.975
total, including that.
All of this, 3 million.
I'm all in.
Wow, I can't believe that.
Unbelievable all-in bet by the amateur player from Israel. Well, Vince, if you're sitting there with 2 queens now and the guy's moved all in on you, I don't know how you can call with this board out there like that. All you can essentially beat is a bluff. And you see the nervousness of Christian right there. He may feel like his queens are the best hand, but to put all your money in the pot with 2 queens with that kind of board when a guy moves all in on you, very difficult to do.
Ron was just betting this guy doesn't have an ace. He's just pushing hard.
Remember, if Christian loses this pot, he's out of the tournament.
Oh, this is a meltdown for Christian. Just when you think you're back out in front, you pick up the hand, but he's got to muck it.
What pressure
Show the bluff.
put on by the amateur there
Show the bluff.
to earn that pot. Incredible. Well, Christian dying to see his hand.
Only one card I show you, but the second card also interesting.
The second card is what?
Interesting.
Interesting.
So
okay.
Ron is going to muscle another hand.
How about that?
He looks like Mr. Clean, and he's cleaning up at the WPT World Championship. Stay with us. We're coming back with more action on the World Poker Tour.
I would be very happy to become the WPT Player of the Year, but I think inside I'll still be disappointed if I don't win the tournament because I'm so close and I know these kind of chances, they don't come that often.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. Four-handed poker continues for the WPT World Championship.
And by Elke Grossbeyer making it to at least 4th place in this tournament, he has become the Season 7 WPT Player of the Year. That is quite an achievement.
And he'd like to take home the first place prize here tonight and the $2.1 million. Let's see if he can do it. But action first, going to Christian Harder, the Internet Pro. And he's got an ugly-looking 8-deuce. He won't play that, Mike.
That's over to Ron Azor. He's got a Queen 10 offsuit here. He just won a good pot with a Queen 10, but throws this one away. It's around to Elke, who's going for his 2nd WPT title this season. He limps in with the Queen 7. It's called the computer hand.
And Yevgeny with a 4-5, content to see 3 cards. Here's the flop.
Flop comes Jack, Jack 10, no help to either player. Elke checks. Yevgeny checks right behind him.
Turn card comes up, another Jack. Check again by Elke.
Yevgeny checking right behind him. Here comes the river card. Oh, a 5 comes off. Yevgeny has made a full house on the river. Elke has checked. And the checking is over for Yevgeny here. He's made a full house. He's going to try to get a little value bet in here, I'm sure. Yes, he does. 375,000. And the way this hand was played, Elke could very well think his queen high is the best hand. And indeed he does, because he's made the call. His instincts were right. His opponent had 2 little cards. Unfortunately for Elke, one of them was a 5. Yevgeny made a full house on the river to take down the pot.
That is right. The Frenchman choking on his baguette right there. Just not pleased with that call, that last card. Just a mess. Blind still at 100 and 200,000. 7 days we've been going here at Bellagio for this event. The best pros in the world play this event, and we're down to these 4. Now Tel Aviv's Ron Azor quickly folding.
I'm all in.
Look at this, Elke with ace-10 says all in. Yeah, a couple folds behind him, Mike.
So Elke moves in and picks up that pot. Elke knows he's going to have to start making a move if he's going to catch up with Yevgeny. You know, you just can't sit back and let this guy just continue to dominate the table like he has been. At some point, you got to draw your sword in the sand and start making stands and gambling a bit to pick up some chips.
All right. Quick fold by Yevgeny. And now Christian Harder with an ace-8 of spades. He's gone all in with it.
Vince, the only hand we've seen him have at this entire final table was 2 queens, and he got outplayed by the amateur on that hand. Here he's moving all in with ace-8 of spade. You can't blame him for that. He's on the short stack.
He'd be in great place here because Ron, who's considering this, has an ace-7.
I call.
Well, he's going to make the call, thinking Christian might be a little desperate. But right behind them, Elke Grospier actually has the best hand with ace-jack of hearts.
Interesting. One guy is raised all in, the other guy calls.
I'm all in.
Whoa, unbelievable. Usually in this situation, a guy with an ace-jack will just get out of the way and let them two fight it out. Not Elke Grospier. That gives you a glimpse why he's the WPT Player of the Year. His instincts are correct. He's got the best hand. He's moved in over the top.
How much more? How much more?
Well, Yevgeny all smiles because he recognizes there's a chance two of them could get knocked out here, and he could be playing heads up for this title very shortly.
They had a side pot, of course. Christian is already all in.
Can you tell me how much?
So it's an additional close to 900,000, and I think Ranazor is obviously priced in.
But Elke Grospier in great shape to take down a pot that's going to have well over $7 million in it.
Ron has made this call, the father of three. Gonna gamble.
Elke Grospier has got to love this situation. He has the best hand.
These three players, their poker destiny on the line. We're coming back with the conclusion of this massive pot. Stay with us here on the World Poker Tour. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. Well, to see the conclusion of this hand, a lot of money in the pot right now. Two guys all in.
Everybody on their feet here. Elke Grospier in great shape to win over a $7.5 million pot. He's out in front with the ace-jack. Christian with the ace-8. Ron with the ace-7.
Here comes the first three. Oh, and look at this flop. King 3-7. Ron has got the piece of it, pair of sevens.
Jack well one time.
Unbelievable. Now Christian needs an 8 to win the pot. Elke's going to need to catch a jack or two running cards to make a flush. Two running cards to make a straight.
Another 7 I want.
Guy that came in with the worst hand gets it on the flop. Here's the turn card.
Well, a queen comes off. That gives Elke an ace-high straight draw. He can now win the pot with a jack or a 10.
10 one time.
Christian must catch an 8 to win the pot.
10.
It is coming down to the river.
10.
We're down to the river card.
10.
The amateur's got to dodge a jack, 10 or an 8. Can he do it?
10.
Go! The deuce of clubs comes right off. So the amateur businessman from Israel's got to take down that pot. And Elke Grospier and Christian Harder are going to be eliminated from this tournament on the same hand. Now Christian will be our 4th place finisher because in tournament poker, if 2 or more players are all in on the same hand and get eliminated, the guy who started the hand with more money gets the higher finishing position. In that case, that would be Elke. But what a way to go out for the WPT Player of the Year.
Christian's going to pick up $571,000. Elke Grospier going to take home $776,000. Body parts strewn in the darkness here at Bellagio.
God with me, God with me.
Well, Lady Luck shines on the amateur there.
And then there were 2.
And as you know, folks, here in the WPT, we have a tradition. When we get down to heads-up play, we have our money presentation. So show us the money. Out come the beautiful Bellagio beauties with the cash. And Vince, it's a lot of money they're bringing out, over $3.5 million. That's what the winner and the runner-up will be dividing up.
Look at that. The cash is laid out there. How nice.
As well as the customized WPT Tiffany bracelet that's also being set on the table.
The heads-up action about to begin. Who's going to take the title of 21-year-old professional? That would be Evgeny Timoshenko, or will it be the 45-year-old amateur out of Tel Aviv, Ranazor? We'll find out in a few minutes here on the World Poker Tour.
I'm still a bit disappointed to bust her like that, but I'm very proud to be WPT Player of the Year, and the trophy is beautiful.
Winning an event on the World Poker Tour is very prestigious. Winning multiple events is extraordinary. But the greatest honor that we have on the World Poker Tour goes to the player who outperforms every poker player in the world over a course of a season.
I'm very glad and proud to be the WPT Player of the Year for the season 7.
I feel exciting right now. I get the luck. I feel lucky. And let's see. Anyway, I'm happy. Even if I finish number 2, I will be happy.
Azul is a good player, but he's an amateur, and this is I do this day in and day out, so I like my chances.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. Brass words by the youngster. doing it day in, day out. What has he been playing for 4 weeks? But he does have 24 million, so he is tough.
Well, he really is an amazing player. His youth defies his experience at the poker table.
All right, the heads-up action has begun. And Ron Azor with an ace-5 with the button.
Raise.
He's going to raise with the ace. He's got about 9 million in front of him.
He picks up an ace high on the button, so he pops it up to 650,000. Yevgeny going to make the call with the queen jack.
That is right.
Now we get some action finally.
Yeah.
Ron, of course, playing in his first ever WPT event. Yevgeny, just 21 years old.
Yep, and a flop comes up junk. 9-6-3, helping neither player.
Now Yevgeny is checked.
And Ron, nothing really hitting there, but will he make the continuation bet?
Ron's going to make the continuation bet.
Raise.
550,000. And look at this. Yevgeny is going to raise it with just a queen high here.
900,000 more.
He's going to raise it 900,000 more. All of a sudden, that ace high is going to shrink up, I can tell you.
What a raise with just queen high.
We told you this kid had game. He's demonstrating it right here, outplaying his opponent by check raising there with just a queen high.
That was a nice move by the 21-year-old. Popping back over the top. Just a good read on Ron Azor. Okay, maybe I am a believer. He does this day in, day out. Maybe he can beat up the amateur here.
That was an impressive play, Vince, let me tell you. Ron did everything he could there. He raised before the flop. He bet on the flop. He just got outplayed.
All right, to this hand we go. Our chip leader has an ace-6 with the button. Caps his cards.
Yeah, he's reaching for raising chips. He's going to bet 450,000.
Into Ron, who
My call.
just has a 10-8. That could be a little tilt money going in.
Well, wants to see a flop here.
And you're going to see it, Ron.
Oh, it's come Jack 10-9. So Ron has the best hand with 2 10s and an open-end straight draw.
On him first, he checks.
Now that's a very dangerous flop for Yevgeny. His ace high. He checks also.
Oh, but Yevgeny catches the ace.
Well, he now has the best hand with 2 aces. Actions on Ron, the amateur businessman from Israel.
There's Ron's friend, chuckling it up on the rail.
Well, Ron's going to bet. It's like 560,000.
And Yevgeny's caught his aces.
Yep, he's quickly calling him with the 2 aces. So Yevgeny out in front. Ron is going to have to improve his hand to win the pot, and he does so as a 7 comes off.
Oh, boy.
Ron Azor has made a straight. He has 7, 8, 9, 10 jack, and he is betting 800,000. And he might be right, Vince. Luck might be on his side. We saw it when he eliminated 2 players with the worst hand a little while back.
I call.
Here he's made a straight on the river to win this pot. He gets paid off by Yevgeny. So the amateur businessman making a move here
Nice hand.
in picking up a nice pot.
And Yevgeny's going to be kicking himself for not raising on the turn with the aces.
You should be careful when the 7 coming up.
Mr.
My
Israel,
lucky number.
Ron Azor takes down a good one.
Well, the big cash and the WPT World Championship title are still up for grabs.
We're coming right back here on the World Poker Tour.
You know, it's a dream come true growing up watching the WPT, and then you never imagine that, you know, you can actually one day be at the final table yourself. To make my first WPT final table, the WPT championship, is great. I just turned 21, so I think this is just the beginning for me.
The dream started at middle school, but he's made it. Final 2 heads-up action going after $2.1 million. That is Yevgeny Timoshenko, our chip leader with over 23 million.
Well, right now he's got over a 2-1 chip lead over the amateur businessman Ron Azor. Remember last year, Gus Hansen had a 5.5 to 1 chip lead over David Chu.
Raise.
Yet David came back and took down the title in this event. Let's see if Ron can come back from not as far a deficit.
With the king 9 this time, and the button he's going to raise. Yep, he makes it 700,000 to go.
Yevgeny's got the queen jack again. He's going to make the call.
Oh, you're going to see more action here at the beautiful Bellagio in Las Vegas. Here's the flop.
And flop comes ace, jack, 7 with 2 spades. Yevgeny now has the best hand with 2 jacks. He checks. And right behind him, Ron checks the king high. Now the deuce of spade comes off. So Yevgeny thinks his 2 jacks are the best hand. Indeed they are. He is reaching for chips.
900,000.
And he is going to bet 900,000.
Raise.
Look at this. The amateur is going to raise with the king high flush draw. Unbelievable.
Yep. Not much hesitation, but
1.6 million more.
he's got the boldness to put it out there, an additional 1.6 million.
Well, Vince, you just don't expect amateurs to come over the top and raise you with nothing. It's going to be very tough to call this with just 2 jacks with 3 spades out there, as well as an ace.
Amazing. It's his first WPT tournament, and the way he's playing like a champion.
Show the bluff. King of spades. King of spades.
Take that, you 21-year-old twerp. That's what he's saying to himself.
Yeah, how about that playing day in, day out against the amateur now, son?
Well, as you can see, both players have a lot of big blinds left, meaning there's a lot of time to play. Ron has 61 big blinds. Yevgeny has 108. And folks, after 7 days of play, to have this many big blinds left playing heads-up poker shows me what great structure that they've got here at Bellagio.
The players at Bellagio that play this tournament love this structure. We move on. Action on Yevgeny Timoshenko. Well, Yevgeny right now is going to raise with a Doyle Brunson hand 10 deuce. Makes it 450,000 to go. And Ron Azor is going to call with a queen 3.
Well, that's the Doyle Brunson hand. Doyle hand, of course, the 10 deuce suited.
When the flop comes up ace 6-6, no help to either player.
Ron's going to check. Here Yevgeny going to make the continuation bet with absolutely nothing.
Yep. Mr. Day in, day out, bets 525.
And Ron lays his hand down. Now, Vince, with 11 players left in this tournament, Yevgeny had a 10 deuce in his hand. Him and Jennifer Harmon went to war before the flop. They got all the money in. Jennifer had 2 aces. He had a 10 deuce. He had a deuce on the flop, a 10 on the turn to knock Jennifer Harmon out of this tournament with 11 players left. A very tough beat for Jennifer.
Oh, it's a great game. Hi, Jennifer.
Raise.
All right, back to the table. And Ron this time has a 5-6 offsuit. It's going to make it 650,000 to go. Now Yevgeny behind him with a midlife crisis. 44. The pair of 4s.
It's the kind of hand you could come over the top with. You might call to want to see a flop. You're out of position here.
And right now, Ron Azor is back to about 11.6 million.
Well, Yevgeny's going to make the call with the 2 4s. So here comes the flop. Oh, it's 10-7-4. Yevgeny has flopped bottom set. Ron Azor has flopped an open-end straight draw. Yevgeny checks.
Yes, he does.
Ron is going to bet 700,000.
And right now, High School Musical songs going off in Yevgeny's head.
Raise.
Well, he is going to raise it.
And now he gets to raise him up with his 3 of a kind.
1.4.
Makes it 1.4 million more. Vince, I think Ron is supposed to make this call, because if by chance you hit a 3 or an 8 here, you got a chance to double up and take the lead in this tournament. And he is going to make the call, so he's gambling with the open-end straight draw. Yevgeny well out in front with the 3 4s.
Potential pot of the tournament. Anything can happen, but Ron didn't hit.
Well, king of spade comes off. That's going to be a scare card for both opponents. Yevgeny going to be fearful his opponent was drawing at spades and made a flush. And the truth is, Ron might be thinking the same thing. Yevgeny's going to check. Now, Ron does have a flush draw with the 5 of spade and an open-end straight draw. But I don't see Yevgeny going anywhere if he bets, so he better be a little careful right here.
Ron is a crazy man. He has done crazier things in his life. He could push here. Will he do it?
Vince, he's got a nice hand just to draw to.
He slows down. He's going to see the card without paying.
So here comes that river card. Oh, a 10 comes up. Yevgeny has got a full house now. He's got 4s full of 10s. Action is on him. Now, sometimes when you hit a river card like this and make a full house, you don't know whether you should bet or check your opponent and give him a chance to bluff at it in case he has nothing. That's exactly the situation here.
I check.
He does check it.
Okay.
He has thrown him some rope, and Ron has grabbed it, and it's just a matter of how much he's going to lose in this pot.
Oh, boy, he is digging the hole, putting the twigs and the branches over it, waiting for the sucker to fall in, and that is Ron. He is betting $1.6 million of wasted cash.
Well, Vince, now you see the beauty of checking a full house on the river here. So your opponent, if he has nothing, might bluff at the pot. And here comes the raise.
$7 million.
Comes back over the top with another 5.4.
And he said $7 million in total. And the amateur businessman is not going to like it. Obviously, Ron can't call it with a 6 high, but what a well-played hand by Yevgeny there.
Yevgeny Timoshenko coming ever so close to taking home the WPT World Championship. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action in a moment.
Well, we're so excited to have the World Poker Tour here at Bellagio, and for the 7th season, it's been nothing but a huge success.
Oh, you gotta love it.
It just fills our poker room, fills our hotel, and our restaurants. Bellagio has been the crown jewel of the Strip since October 15, 1998, when Bellagio opened. We're very honored and privileged to have that title. If you want to play poker, if you want to be part of the biggest, best poker room in the world, come to Bellagio. It has the best games. It has the #1 dealers in the world. If you're a poker player, you're playing at Bellagio.
Welcome back to Las Vegas for the WPT. The WPT World Championship continues. Heads-up action. And we do love our Bellagio. What a place. It is the heart of poker around the world.
Oh, indeed it is. It's the Yankee Stadium of poker rooms, no doubt about it. Players from around the world love to come to Las Vegas and play at Bellagio.
Getting back to the table, Ron Azor from Tel Aviv.
Right.
He's got an ace-4 this time. He's down to $7 million in chips.
Well, he is going to raise it here. Makes it $745,000 to go. But Yevgeny picks up yet another nice hand. He's got ace-jack, has his opponent dominated. And Vince, you got to say this guy's held the most cards at this final table as well. But in poker, when you're playing well and running well, that's a tough combination to beat. And right now, that is Yevgeny.
2.4 total.
Well, Yevgeny has come back over the top of this one. He makes it $2.4 million.
Well, if Ron opts to go with this hand, this could do it, folks. Let's see Yevgeny getting out of the way here. And Ron would have to get very lucky once again to win a big pot. He did it earlier at this final table when he eliminated 2 players on the same hand, but here he makes a good laydown, gets away from that ace-4.
Respects the young blood, and we move on.
Well, Vince, how can you not respect this guy? If he wins tonight, he'll have over $3 million in career earnings in live tournament play, because around the world in certain locations you can play at 18. He won an event on the Asian Poker Tour in Macau for $500,000. He won an event at the 2007 Irish Open. Finished at a final table at the World Series of Poker Europe last year.
$480,000.
Here he is at the WPT World Championship final.
Call.
Yevgeny Timoshenko going to raise his time with just queen deuce, making it $480,000 to go. Ron with 5-4 calls, and the flop comes up. They both hit. Yevgeny with queens, Ron with his 5s.
Check.
Ron has checked it.
It's top pair versus bottom pair, but Ron also has a flush draw.
600,000.
Well, 600,000 is the bet.
All in.
He says all in with just the 5s.
How much?
And that is a massive bet.
6, 7.
6 million?
He's got the pair and the flush draw. As we can see, it's the worst hand.
I fold.
And the youngster does lay it down.
Good fold.
But what a nice bet by Ron Azor right there to take that pot away from the kid.
Nice to do that. Bets on the come. This time it works out nicely. I gotta take a look at the Wonder Cam. Look at this. Ron would have gotten lucky on the river.
Now look at the turn card, though. Yevgeny would have made 2 pair in the turn, queens and deuces, lost to a flush on the river.
Okay, moving on. Cards being dealt once again. And the blinds are going up to 150, 300,000. Action's going to Ron Azor. And he's got an ace-4 this time.
Raise.
And he is going to raise it.
More 500.
Looks like he makes it 650,000 to go. And Yevgeny's going to make the call with the 6-5, hoping to catch a flop where he can eliminate his opponent.
Ron, a little bit amused by that, he seems. Can't shake the kid loose, and Ron's going to hit aces.
Now it's come ace, jack, 9. Evgeny's going to check. Ron is reaching for chips. Those are $100,000 chips, so the bet is $800,000. Evgeny gets out of the way. And Ron Azor, you wonder if he's getting worn out, Vince. He's been playing for 7 days. And you just wonder if fatigue is setting in on him. The youngster looks as perky as the new Jack-in-the-Box.
Well, Ron is 45 years old. He's a father of 3. He's going after huge dollars here tonight. Started this event with 338 players. We're down to these 2. Fine play all around here tonight at Bellagio.
600.
And Evgeny this time with a 10 deuce. Gonna make it 600.
You know, this hand is named for Doyle Brunson, but I got a feeling Evgeny has a real fondness for this hand. We told you he eliminated Jennifer Harmon from this tournament with 11 players left with a 10 deuce. We saw him win a pot earlier with it by bluffing. Here he's raised with it again, and even though he's flopped second pair here, Ron is out in front with 2 kings.
And Ron is going to try to trap here a little bit. He has checked it.
Evgeny checks the 2 10s right behind him, not falling any traps.
Wow.
And look at this, a 5 comes off. Ron has now got kings and 5s. He's in a dominating position here. He's got 2 pair, kings up. Evgeny just has 2 10s.
And he makes a simple little $425,000 bet. And that's going to make Evgeny stick around. He's called it.
Well, the only way Evgeny can win this pot is to catch a 10 on the river. And he's done it, Vince.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Is this kid running good or what?
Well, that's a nightmare if you're Ron.
And he still got kings up. But he doesn't like that 10 coming on the river. He checks it. You know Evgeny is going to bet, just a matter how much.
Yep. 1,500,000.
1,500,000 is the bet. The amateur sits up in his chair saying, what happened here? Now what he's hoping, of course, is his opponent had some kind of straight draw or flush draw and just is making a move here. He's got to try to figure that out. Does he want to call here or not? He puts him on 3 10s. He'd make a great laydown, but I think it's going to be tough to lay this hand down the way it was played. Well, Ron's going to make the call, and he is going to wince when he sees that river card that beat him. Look at that. Evgeny catching another beautiful card on the end, and that 10 deuce might become his hand instead of Doyle Brunson's, Vince.
Ron Azor starting to look worn down. Evgeny sprinting to the finish line. Will he take his title on the WPT? We're coming back with the action in just a moment. Tonight's World Poker Tour brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net. We're back here on the World Poker Tour. The heads-up battle continues for the WPT World Championship.
Evgeny Timoshenko, 21-year-old pro, well out in front right now with 28 million in chips. The amateur from Israel, Ron Azor, with just over 5 million. Evgeny has done nothing but extend his chip lead ever since he got to this final table. Could go wire to wire for the title.
Ron is called with an 8-7, but Evgeny picking up the kings.
Just incredible. He's not only playing well, he's catching so well. Here he's got 2 kings. Ron has limped in on the button.
500,000 more.
And now Evgeny is going to raise it $500,000 more with the 2 kings.
Yeah, blinds 150 and 3. Very expensive poker right now. But he's hooked his man, and that is Ron from Tel Aviv.
There you see Ron. Hands on his head. Just hoping to catch some kind of flop. That's not going to do it. As it comes ace, jack, deuce with 2 hearts.
Yeah, nothing hitting for Ron. Evgeny, though, is going to check. He sees that ace on the board. Let's see if he gets Ron to bet here.
Oh, Ron's going to check too. And 9 comes off on the turn. Will Evgeny bet his kings now? Nope, he's going to check. Ron has the gut shot straight draw. A 10 would give him the win.
Ron stays out of the way. Another smart check behind him. And a 7 on the river.
900,000.
Well, 900,000 is now the bet.
And Ron caught a piece of that. Is he going to contribute another 900?
Well, he lays it down.
Yep.
And Vince, I'll tell you one thing. If body language would determine our champion, and pass the trophy to Yevgeny. He looks fresh as a daisy. Well, Ron looks like he's been plowing the field all day.
Yeah, it's like one of those horses bearing out down the stretch. He is tiring. They've been playing for a long, long time. A big effort. He needs to turn things around very quickly here. To the table we go. Yevgeny looking down at an ace-5.
Well, he's on the button in position. Staring over at a tired opponent. Has a dominating chip lead.
Pummeling.
Yevgeny's going to push it. He's saying, you want to play? It's going to cost you everything, Ron. Ron with just a 10-3 offsuit.
Well, it would be a total gamble. He called his remaining money off of this hand, but no, he's going to muck it.
And Ron is turning into old man poker right now. Just no hope left, it seems like, getting whittled away. Just an aggravating, perky smile, though, by Yevgeny.
The amateur from Israel, Ron Azor, if he could win one pot, it'd be back to about where they started this heads-up battle. I'm talking about 24 million to about 9 million. So he's really just one hand away from getting back to where this heads-up match began. Don't count him out yet.
Raise.
Ron with queen 10 says raise.
600 more.
Going to raise it 600,000 more. And again, Yevgeny picks up an ace high.
Pummeling.
And again, he goes all in.
Call.
Call?
And he's quickly called by Ron. He's just making a stand here.
Yeah, this could be it.
Well, as the cards lie,
You're good.
not quite a 3-2 underdog to win the pot, but Yevgeny, the favorite to take down the title right here, right now. Let's see if he can do it.
We have long way together, huh? Long way.
Ron Azor
Okay.
We have long way together. Let's see.
smiling.
Yeah.
His first ever WPT event, his poker destiny on the line right now for the next 5 cards.
8-9 jack on the flop.
Managing to joke.
Ace come. You're not so lucky. Come.
Here's the first 3.
Oh, a queen right in the door.
Yeah, Ron got the queen.
Come queen, jack, 7. So Ron out in
King
front with the
spades.
2 queens.
King of spades.
Well,
King of
Yevgeny
spades.
says put the king of spades out there.
Show me the 2.
Where I'll have a straight draw and a flush draw as well as the ace draw.
2 diamond. 2 diamond.
Spade!
Well, the king of clubs comes off. Now that means Yevgeny cannot catch an ace to win the pot because that'd give Ron an ace high straight. The only way Yevgeny can win this pot is to catch a 10 on the river. That would give him an ace high straight.
Ron loves his odds right now. River card coming up.
Oh, a 10 comes off.
No!
The youngster has again hit lightning on the river. This time, it gives him the title. Wow. And Vince, he not only plays great poker, Lady Luck smiling down on the youngster as well.
Nice playing with you. You played good.
What a performance by Yevgeny to take down this WPT championship title.
Thank you.
And Ron Azor in shock and awe, staring at the table in total disbelief. Yevgeny Timoshenko, he is our champion, going to take home over $2.1 million.
Show off. That's what I can do, I guess, yeah.
He's 21 years old, the second youngest ever to win a WPT event. And that's going to do it for Season 7. Thanks for watching.
For Vince Van Patten and all the folks at the WPT, I'm Mike Sexton saying until next time, may all your cards be live and your pots be monsters.
All right.
I don't understand what this is for here.